Welcome to the Cheer Athlete. Today we're going to talk about equipment that you can use at home that to help get you stronger and more flexible and to feel good while you're exercising. If you don't know me, I'm Laura Turner, aka LT the Cheer PT. You can find me on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Facebook. If you're join our Healthy Cheerleading Facebook group, in which I post weekly Q&A sessions and all kinds of exercise videos to help you stay healthy, get better at your skills, and stay injury free. So last week in the Healthy Cheerleading group, I talked about equipment that I like to use at home. Really, you can use body weight to get strong at home. You don't have to have a lot of equipment. I love the tumble tracks and the stunt stands, the stunt doubles that Tumble Track has, and I think they're wonderful pieces to help train your skills. And you can also use a step at home. I think the stunt double is actually probably a really great tool for bases because it mimics that mechanics. And then obviously a mat, you need to use those for tumbling, but I'm not here to talk about those today. They're great tools to have at home. Those are great for skills. Let's talk about what does it take to get you strong and do the work at home. So at home, if you have a step or a chair, if you have a counter, and potentially a pull-up bar, I think that would be a great tool to have at home. I don't have one. I have a bench that's actually behind me here, but so you can do some pulling motions. But there are other ways you can have a great workout at home just doing body weight work. Push-ups are one of the best exercises you could do, and I find most cheerleaders, especially high school athletes, I think you get stronger as you go, but most female cheerleaders and high school athletes or younger struggle with doing a push-up. So doing these on an incline, like a counter, will really help to build your strength up. And then once you get stronger, you can bump that height of that supported surface down and do a push-up on a step or a chair, working your way down lower to the ground until you can do it with your core stable, your chin tucked, back of the neck long, ribs down, and your pelvis level. That's the key to go with every exercise that you do and as you're walking around to build that strength. So push-ups, those are number one exercise. You can do a variety of different planks, V-ups. You can crawling, that's all going to stabilize your core. With the planks, you could do a rowing motion. So lifting one hand off. And again, making sure your back stays stable and you're not really weight shifting. That will stabilize the core and help you get strong in your core, as well as strengthening your shoulders and your upper back. You can do single leg squats, working them to a chair, working them down lower. You can do single leg deadlifts. If you don't have resistance, go slower with the motion. Hold it for a little longer. That will create a little more resistance and get you some more challenge, which you need to build muscle and to build strength so that you can do everything that you want to do. So you can, and then lunges, of course, or split squats. Those are excellent exercise. And you can get soup cans are about a pound if you get a regular size soup can. If you get a gallon of milk, fill it with water. That's going to add a little more weight. Or you could put some sand into it and then put that in a bag. You can get a great workout. So there's a lot of ways that you can maneuver a workout at home without having full-on equipment. Now, I want to talk today a little bit about equipment, maybe a little bit more about equipment and some of my favorite tools of what I use for a regular workout. When I work with somebody at home, if I'm coaching them online, I'm going to work with what they have. So if it's a body weight program, then we do body weight. If they have equipment at home, we'll work with what they have and mix and match, creating offset. So if they only have, one 5-pound dumbbell and one 20-pound dumbbell, maybe sometimes we do offset deadlifts and squats and rows, or maybe we do single arm stuff because that's great at providing stability for your whole body. If they're going to work out a gym, we do a gym program. So if you're going to work with me, you're going to get the equipment. The program is going to work out to wherever you are working out. The equipment is going to work out to wherever you're at, and we'll design it from there. For me, at my home, I'm so lucky because my husband in 2020 bought us a squat rack and a bench, and I already had kettlebells and we had a set of dumbbells, and we've upgraded our dumbbells so we have more weight so we can keep progressing. We've got a ball, a big physio ball that we could do ab work on, or so I do a lot of ab work or back work. I also have, which I bought, a Dynamax, which is one of my favorite tools for when I need to get some aggression out, doing some bodyweight slam or ball slams into the ground, or we have a space that I can do some wall balls. It's awesome. And that's a great exercise to build core strength, power. If you can't do your push-ups, try doing some ball slams before your push-ups or your pull-ups. You're going to activate your core, and it's going to make those a little bit easier. So Dynamax is a big, huge medicine ball, and they come in varieties of weights and sizes. My favorite tools, though, that I tend to use most of the time are my kettlebells. So if you're going to invest in one piece of equipment, I'd say invest in an adjustable kettlebell. Personally, I like the different sizes, and I'd rather have a variety of them because it gives me a wider option to use. But if you have one kettlebell that's an adjustable kettlebell, you can do a ton of different exercises with it. Shoulder presses, chest presses, cleans, snatches, single leg deadlifts, double leg deadlifts, squats, single leg squats. You can hold it in your hand as you're doing leg lowers, or you can hold it overhead and do pullovers. You can do rows with them. So there's so many varieties. And if you do get one that's not adjustable, I would advise getting one that works to the level of your hardest skill. So for me, an overhead press is my weakest muscle and my weakest motion. So I'm going to get a kettlebell that works to my weakest motion. So, I might not get a 50-pound kettlebell to do my shoulder press, but for my squat, I can do closer to 50 pounds. So it's going to depend on where you're at. But if you only have one, get the one that works to your weakest. For females, it's likely an overhead press, maybe a chest press. And for the other ones, like on a row, if it's easier for you, you're going to do more reps, or you're going to go slower and you're going to do more hold times. That will work on challenging that for you as well. So number one tool that I can recommend is get a kettlebell. Adjustable, if you don't invest in one, eventually you're going to want more, but they're kind of pricey because they run about $1 a pound. But if you just do one at a time, they're not too bad. And this time of year, you can get some great deals. The second piece of equipment that I would recommend for home is a super band. These are different than your TheraBand that you're going to get if you come see me at physical therapy. That's really to just get you going. Those are great for like rotator cuff exercises and for beginning to start some strength training after you've come back from an injury. But the super bands, I think, are amazing. You can use the wider ones to hold your leg instead of using a strap, and that you can do leg lowers with that. You can do a hamstring stretch. You can do hip circles, which I posted in a video this past week, that you stretch your hamstring and hip circle the other leg. That's going to create core stability while stretching your legs out. You can do rows with them. You could hold it and do a deadlift. You could put it on your shoulders and do a squat press. So super band is, again, my second favorite tool to have at home. I'd recommend, if you're going to buy one, start with a 1-inch. If you're buying for a really young athlete who hasn't really done any resistance work, go with a 1/2 inch. That's going to be better. But the 1-inch it's a good medium-sized band, and it will give a challenge. You might only be able to do 3 repetitions with it effectively, keeping your chin tucked, neck long, ribs down, shoulders out of your ears, and pelvis level. Hint: those are the reminder cues for every exercise that you're going to do. But that 1-inch band can really get you a good workout, and you can play with it. And if you have to do less reps because it's too hard, do that. Maybe do a couple more sets. And if it's easy, then do more reps and less sets. So a kettlebell, a super band, those are the 2 that I probably use the most. Again, we have a bench at home, so I can bench press, I can squat, I can deadlift with a bar, and I have adjustable dumbbells. Those are excellent. I like my adjustable dumbbells better than the adjustable kettlebells because you have a pair of them, and the ones that my husband bought are just amazing. I don't even know where he got them, but they're easy to turn. There's wide varieties out there. Take a look around. What works best for you? There's a lot of things you can find on Craigslist or Amazon. I love Perform Better. That's one of my favorite companies for their equipment. And if you live in a New England area, you can go to their facility in Warwick and pick up, so you don't have to pay for shipping. Um, the other things that I use on a regular basis is I do use a foam roller. For as much as I preach, don't stretch. And I really don't use my foam roller for my IT band anymore because one, it's torture. Who wants to do that? And two, I wasn't noticing a difference. So why am I going to keep doing something when I'm not noticing an ongoing change? But what I do use my foam roller for is dynamic warm up on my upper body. I lay on it. It gives me a nice opening on my upper back. So I get some extension in my upper back, which we all know is important for cheerleaders. And you can lie on it horizontal and do an upper back bend while stabilizing, keep the ribs down while extend your upper back. That's super hard to do. You got to keep your core stable. And you can do a lot of rotation with it. I'll lay on it lengthwise, do some snow angels, backstrokes, or even just rotating my palms up and down to help get some active and dynamic movement through my shoulders and through my scapula, through my shoulder blades, my scapula, to get me ready for whatever upper body work I'm going to do. So I think that's a great tool. More so the posture balls, that I love. It's easy to transport. You could throw it in your cheer bag. It's easy to lay on. If you want to roll your IT band, it's not as torturous as the long foam roller. And it's really good for creating some upper back extension and some mobility in the upper back. And then you could take your band and do some pull aparts on there to warm that up and get that ready as well. So those are my three main tools. There's a lot of things, I think a physio ball is great to have at home because you could do wall squats with it. Like I talked about core, you can do a lot. You could do V-ups, you can do plank rollouts or pike ups. And you can do a walkout on your back and do a bridge, or use a ball for a bridge, a weighted bridge also. But you can also do those without using the ball. I think having the kettlebell or dumbbell, kettlebell is I think the most important, but you could also make a case for a dumbbell. If you have one kettlebell, you can squat, you can deadlift, you can row, you can press either vertical or horizontal. You can do both for pulling also. So we can do a lying down overhead vertical pull or a bent over row. You're going to use it for your lunges. You can use it for step ups. You can use it for core, with a Turkish get up or a leg lower. You can hold it in the and do Russian twists with it. And then you can get into conditioning. You can do snatches. You can do cleans, all of which is going to stabilize your upper back as well and your shoulder. And then you can do swings, which will really get your heart rate up. If you pair swings with planks and you maintain good form, do 10 rounds every minute. It's going to take you 10 minutes and you'll have a great workout that is super solid. You'll get your heart rate up, and great conditioning to do at home to get you ready for cheerleading. Those are my favorite tools that I use. I have a lot of other things, but those are the things I use most often. So, and I think they're well worth the investment. Again, if you're not ready to make that investment, you don't know how to use them. If you're not ready to make that investment, that's fine. Do some body weight work. Do your planks, do body weight squats, work your range of motion by going down lower. Get to be able to do a push-up solidly, maybe do some handstand push-ups, work your upper back with some ITs and Ys. You've got this stuff all on YouTube if you need to look at where that's at, or just send me a message and I will send you videos for anything that you don't know how to do. There's lots of body weight work that you can do and get nice and strong so that you can maintain and progress in cheerleading and reduce your injuries. Good workout, like I talk about all the time. You got to do a warm-up, dynamic, not just static stretching. Move your muscles, take your body through its range of motion, then get into your strength work. Then if you want to do some static stretching, do that at the end. There's all of you don't need tools for it. You can do things with a towel. You can do things with the jug of water or something heavy that you have at home. And you can make progress that way. If you want those tools, kettlebell, super band, and maybe a posture ball. And then again, I don't think that that's absolutely necessary, but it's a nice tool to have and it's easy to transport. That's all I got for you today. It's the day before Thanksgiving, so on 2023. So if you're listening to this today, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you're listening to this in the future, whether it's Thanksgiving Day or beyond, hope you have a wonderful time with your family. Enjoy. I'm so grateful for you listening. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to come on here and talk, and for all the guests that I've had on. I'm so thankful for you. Like, you guys inspire me every day, and I love following you on all social media and seeing all the awesome things that you're doing. I do have a Black Friday special coming out that is going out to my email list today. So if you're listening to this, you're not on my email list, what are you waiting for? There'll be a link in the show notes. And if you're not on it and want to join, I'll also have that link there. And if this offer is valid through the weekend. So I'll probably post another. I'll make sure that link is in the show notes as of Friday, but it's special just for my email list before Thanksgiving, because I'm not, number one, big fan of shopping on Thanksgiving Day. But I want people to have access. So the link will be there on Friday, and you can find it on my social media as well. And all that stuff will be in the show notes below. That's all for today. Have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you next week. Don't forget, when in doubt, breathe it out. Take life one step at a time. And as my friend Drew Keller has said, you're responsible for your own vibes. So go get the day.